Hey guys, Tech Guy here, welcome back to the channel. I recently made a video about the LCD Steam Deck and whether or not it is worth picking up in 2025. If you haven't seen that video yet, I recommend checking it out and I will have it linked in this video's description. Today I wanted to highlight just how capable the Steam Deck really is, by showing off my picks of games that have great graphics, but also run very well on Steam Deck. These won't all necessarily be brand new AAA games. Nonetheless, these games still look great graphically and run well on Steam Deck. Just a disclaimer before I go into the list, by run well, I mean anything from a consistent 40 to 60 frames per second with decent image quality. In some cases, these games may run at a locked 60 FPS, and at other times I may sacrifice some FPS to around about the 40 to 45 mark in order to keep great image quality as well as save on battery. With YouTube's compression, these clips may not look as good as they do natively on the deck. You may also see slightly lower FPS as I'm using the Steam Deck's built-in game recorder. With that out of the way, let's start with the first entry and my main inspiration for this list, Batman Arkham Knight. Now if you're a PC gamer, then you're probably no stranger to the absolute shambles that was Batman Arkham Knight on PC when it released back in 2015. Since then, however, the game has received a plethora of bug fixes and patches, and now plays well on most hardware including the Steam Deck. As you can see, I have opted for the deck's native resolution of 1280 by 800 with a mix of medium and low graphic settings and a frame rate cap set to 45 FPS. I feel like these settings give a great balance of smooth performance whilst maintaining strong image quality. In motion, this game still looks really good even by today's standards. Although this is a great experience on deck, you may encounter some frame rate dips when driving in the battlefield. These are far from immersion breaking and this is still a great experience on deck in 2025. I feel like Grid Legends came and went without much fanfare back when it released in 2022, but I think it is a great racing game that performs extremely well, regardless of platform. As much as I love playing this racer on ultra settings on my desktop PC, it also scales really well to Steam Deck. Like most entries on this list, the key here is to go for a mix of medium and low settings at the deck's native resolution, locking to 45 FPS. With a mix of low and very low settings, you could potentially get around 60 frames per second, but I find locking this to 45 with these settings still feels smooth and responsive, and the game looks absolutely unreal at times. Even with intense weather effects and multiple cars on screen, this still runs surprisingly well. This is a great racing game with plenty of content to keep you busy, so I highly recommend this one.
Your teammates crashed.
Next on my list is one of Ubisoft's sprawling RPGs, Assassin's Creed Odyssey. This is probably my favourite out of the 3 RPG type Assassin's Creed games, and in my opinion it runs remarkably well on the Steam Deck. For this one, however, we do have to take a bigger hit to image quality in order to hit anywhere near the 40 FPS mark or higher. I do this by setting the game to mostly low settings, whilst also changing the resolution scale to 90%. This can make the draw distance appear a little blurry, but the performance gains are worth the sacrifice to the image quality. This is a huge game, with well over 100 hours of content, so I definitely think it's a good fit for the Steam Deck. You can even increase the resolution scale back to 100% if you find it too off-putting, and lock the game to 30 frames per second if this doesn't bother you. Due to the pick up and play nature of the Steam Deck, I always find myself coming back to fighting games on this device. Tekken 8 is a great example again of the scalability of PC gaming. It looks phenomenal on higher settings on high-end hardware, but can also be scaled to look good and perform well on handhelds like the Steam Deck 2. For this one, I go for mostly low settings again, and make use of Unreal Engine's TSR while setting the resolution scale to 65%. I find this still gives us great image quality and stays very close to a locked 60 frames per second. Some dips during grab moves or when there are a lot of alpha effects on the screen. I probably wouldn't recommend playing this online via Steam Deck, but luckily Tekken 8 has a load of offline features that will play with no issues. To round off my list of graphically impressive games that run well on Steam Deck, we have the Callisto Protocol. Although this game wasn't as good as the Dead Space remake that came out the same year, I still had fun with this and think it's an ideal game to revisit on deck. This is a graphically demanding game, so low settings across the board were necessary here, but I still think it looks pretty good even at these quality settings. I was able to achieve a somewhat stable 45 FPS, which helped ensure the game felt responsive to play. Again, this could be locked at 30 FPS if that is something you are comfortable with, whilst retaining higher image quality, but I think the jump to around 45 does wonders to how responsive this game feels. This is another relatively short title, which can be finished in a few sittings if you have this in your backlog. I think these games do a good job of showing the capability of the Steam Deck, and there are plenty more examples of demanding games running well on this handheld. Let me know in the comments section of any graphically impressive games that you've been playing on Steam Deck. That just about wraps it up for this video. Please hit the like and subscribe buttons if you like tech content like this, and I look forward to seeing you on the next video. Cheers!